Hello everyone, welcome to StoryRetold. I know I'm like 8 days late to this party, but I have had a busy week, and I'm just now getting to watch Q&A Part 2 with Indy Brigella and Rue from Her Interactive. That was launched... when was it launched? It was launched September 8th. So let's take a look. What do we have here?
The next question is, a lot of people have this question sometimes, Team Ned.
Oh my goodness, it's so quiet. I'm gonna turn this up super quiet. Set it to 4. Let's see if that helps.
Ned or Team Frank? I know there's a lot of opinions.
I'm Team Ned till the day I die. I love Ned and Nancy together. I always have, and I probably always will.
I used to be Team Ned, and then after a while, I liked the idea of Nancy and Frank. I just thought that was so cute. But now, I love Ned as a boyfriend. He's so cool. Also, just knowing and interacting with Scott Carty, our wonderful longtime voice of Ned.
You can't help but love Ned.
Help but love Ned. And Ned's not boring. You may have a different impression of all of Nancy's friends, Ned, Frank, Joe, Deirdre, Bess, George, if you read the books or watched the show. And yeah, like whoever you like.
Now me personally.
Yeah, so the thing is, Ned is different in the movies, the TV show, the books, the games. So it depends on which one you like, if at all, if any of them. I like the Ned of the books the best, particularly the yellow books. But I also like the way who Ned is in the Nancy Drew games. I feel like the writing team could, up his interest in his intrigue about, making him more of an interesting character than just, standard nice boyfriend.
Indy is a big old Frank girl. If I'm talking about the TV show, right now, Nancy and Ace are endgame, but they can't kiss or they'll die. But if I don't see them kiss by the end of the show, I will die. And I mean that literally.
Nancy and Frank get together at one point in the books, right?
There's a book where you can vote. One number if you wanted Nancy to stay with Ned, one if you wanted her to break up, and people voted for them to break up. Ned is a lot more active in some of the books, and then other books, he's just like not present or talked about at all, which I kind of love.
Since we're remote, which yes, we are remote, have we gotten to play any of the games together?
Every now and then, we are able to get together and play test Mystery of the Seven Keys, and it has been a very cool experience because we get to take turns seeing who will play next.
We definitely do get together every now and then for a little bit of, happy hour amongst ourselves where we like to come on and just talk about our days. One of the first times we play tested, one day randomly I just got a call that was like, can you hop on a Zoom call and you have an hour or two for free? And it's the two of you and some other people, and basically they have me test out one of the first puzzles of the game, but I get no warning as to what it's actually going to be, and honestly it was so embarrassing because I wasn't getting it.
It took us all a while to play that puzzle.
We have talked a lot about doing streaming again, so maybe someday we'll get back to streaming like these.
Yeah, I mean, having a little context of what you're being dropped into in a game, or what the expectations are when being placed in front of something within the game would help, especially if you're trying to get initial feedback, whether it be tell us if you understand what's going on with what is presented to you, what are your specific opinions about this, that, and another thing. But if you haven't any idea how to play that part of the game, that makes it really hard. So I'm kind of disappointed that, suddenly you just get dropped into something without the full context of why. Why are you spontaneously dropping into a 1-hour call to try something? You have no idea why you're trying it. That's kind of loses some directive. It loses context, and it loses, I don't know, it doesn't set you up for giving great feedback, I think. But if they're going to start streaming someday together, that would be something fun to do, to see.
We had so many people ask, What are our favorite games?
I find Secret of the Old Clock just so charming. I feel like I could play that game blindfolded. It also was kind of the first Nancy Drew game that I played that made sense to me. I really didn't have to go on the message boards for many hints. I know this is a very hot take, but I love a good chore-based game, and I know a lot of people hate the chore-based games, but I really like them.
My favorite game as a kid used to be Treasure in the Royal Tower. I can quote that game backwards and forwards. And then when Alibi and Ashes came out, I don't know, I just loved Alibi and Ashes so much. There's something about it, being in Nancy's hometown with Nancy's best friend. Nancy's in jail, but now Alibi and Ashes is my favorite game.
One of my favorite games is The Deadly Device, if you can tell. And one of the older games that I absolutely adore is Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. Like Brigitte had said about Treasure in the Royal Tower, like I know that game all the way through. Even same with Deadly Device. I love the puzzles, I love the characters and the storyline, and those are probably my top 2 favorite games.
As I've grown up, I will say now, I really like Curse of Blackmore Manor. I think in real life, I'm in my dark academia phase, so I think that's why that game is speaking to me as of late.
It's such a classic. I absolutely love that game.
I replayed it recently, and it is so hard.
I will say it's very interesting to replay these as an adult. There's things I picked up on now that I never picked up on as a kid. I took the philosophy of if I have to read something to beat the game, Nancy will just instinctually write down the important parts in the notebooks, so I never read much.
I also didn't really read like anything that was really long, and I didn't realize how much plot I would miss sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of the games have that like historical background character, and I won't say that this game doesn't have that.
I will say this game might rival all other games for having the most content that you can just read and learn about history, and I highly suggest that everyone does it because
in Mystery of the Seven Keys. Okay, so we're going to get a lot of stuff to read that does add a lot more richness and depth to the game, the area, the atmosphere, and also to characters and also the setting, really. That's really going to help make the areas more rich, makes the experience more of an enriched experience. It makes the game replayable, so that when you go back and replay and read the things you missed, it gives you even more context and more understanding and a more appreciation for what they did.
There was so good.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. What do you guys think? What are your answers to responses of some of these questions that were posed for this lovely team? I'm looking forward to actually learning about the release date for this game so I can plan accordingly, and hopefully I'll be able to play the game because I'll be otherwise occupied with other life things probably by the time this game comes out. So planning would be really good. Anyways, great to hear from the ladies. I hope to see more in the future. I'll talk to you guys later.